like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for Married to Medicine Season 5, Episode 5. It is currently Saturday. I know it came on yesterday, but I was tired when I got home from work. I had a glass of wine, and I kind of just was like, you know what? I'm going to review everything tomorrow, comfy, and my favorite PJ shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm just coming to y'all all comfy, cozy on this cold Saturday here in Michigan. It is snow outside. It's a little bit of snow, probably like maybe an inch. Nothing that we, can't handle here for Michigan weather. And, I'm going to do a few reviews today. So, I'm going to have the same shirt on. I'm going to have the same ponytail. And, it's going to be what it's going to be. It's an easy breezy weekend. I hope everyone had a great week. And they're having a great weekend, too, with the start of your Saturday. And let's just get into this particular review. A reason, too, that I didn't review this stuff yesterday, because I do Married to Medicine, Marriage Boot Camp, and then Bring It on Fridays. But I watched Married to Medicine first, and it was quite boring. And after I had my glass of wine and I was just sitting around chilling, I was so relaxed, like, oh my God, I don't even feel like writing no notes for this. I mean, I was over the whole episode. I felt like nothing happened, even though something happened, but it was still so petty that it was nothing. And I was like, oh my God, if I would review this last night, it would have been busted and disgusted, because that's how I felt about the particular episode. Like, it was busted and disgusted. Because it was pretty boring, even up until Mariah got there. And then even when Mariah got there, I was more bored because the antics to me was just stupid. You know what I'm saying? What happened? We see, like, I didn't even write me notes, honestly. There was a little scene where, Contessa, Heavenly, and I think Quad was all sitting around because, they're in the same room or whatnot. And Heavenly was saying, like, do you think that Simone purposely put my ponytail, hold on, Lord Jesus. I just felt like it was falling, and I hate when my ponytail look like it's falling. I think that's stupid. Anywho, so Heavenly was saying, like, do you think Simone purposely put us in the same room so we can get acquainted? I mean, maybe. But who cares? And when Contessa said, well, Simone said that, she thinks that me and you are a lot alike. And Heavenly was like, as if she was a feeling like, we ain't nothing alike. But my thing is, Heavenly, how do you know when you don't know this woman? People have the tendency to not like someone and not knowing what they may or may not have in common. And Heavenly, you don't know that lady, so you don't know if y'all can be similar. You just don't like her because when you first met her, she said, what's your name? And she probably said, what's your name? Because you didn't say, hi, I'm Heavenly, or whatever. But, who cares? We see how Simone and Jackie is having a conversation with Toya. Because, Toya put Quad on the spot the last episode when she asked her, well, how many times did you and your husband have sex? They had to let her know that she can't expect people to be where she is in aspects of conversations and situations. Toya does have a tendency to want people to understand, oh, we should just get it all out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in this place of forgiveness, or I'm in this place of honesty. I mean, they in that place too. So you have to sometimes calm down. And, they said, today we're going to just say, you all day. And that kind of means that you kind of, you're getting beside yourself and you being a little bit too extra. And you're kind of wanting people to feel how you feel when you feel it. And that ain't how real life go. So, we see that whole thing. Then they're on the bus, they going to a swamp tour. And, Heavenly is being petty, and she keep calling Contessa Contessa, Conetssa. And that ain't that lady name. And my thing is, I'm all for jokes and ha-has and, trying to be a little bit funny here and there. But at the same time, people can feel offended and disrespected when you keep mispronouncing their name on purpose. This stupid. Like, my name was very, very easy. Jaylee, Jay Lee. You can't mispronounce it. Hey, Jelly. That ain't my damn name. You know what I'm saying? You can't do things like that. So she keeps saying, Contessa, you want something to drink, Contessa? Being funny. So Contessa says, I don't know, you know, why you can't say my name correctly, but you know, my name ain't Contessa. And then Simone says, Heavenly, is there a reason you keep mispronouncing her name? And she's like, oh, it's not Contessa. What is it? She's like, it's Contessa. It's Contessa. And you know, Heavenly in her confession, she's saying, well, you know, it's Contessa. No, it's not. It's not. We've seen people names spelled ways, and it's pronounced differently. That lady didn't name herself. Her parents named her. So let's get over that. So Contessa come back with the quick comeback, and she was like, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, I don't make fun of people with disabilities. And at first I was like, well, what's she talking about? Like, is Heavenly disabled? Is it disabled? Because she's an older woman or something like that? And she's like, who's disabled? She's like, you know, I can assume maybe you had a speech impediment. Girl, bitch. I was like, yes, Contessa. Get her ass together. Let her know, if you're going to keep mispronouncing my name, I'm going to assume that you got a speech impediment and you disabled, and I'm not going to tease you. Man, the whole bus, I laughed like, yep, Contessa can get back with your ass. And she could. So that, for me, was a very, very funny moment. You know, they do go on a swamp tour. In my opinion, the swamp tour was boring. You know, I mean, they saw some alligators. They said the alligators could have been some persons and some shoes. Okay, it is what it is. But as they're riding around or whatever, and I think I just broke it down, and they're like looking for like wild pigs out in the swamp, Heavenly says, look, there goes Mariah. Implying that Mariah will be a wild pig in the swamp. I mean, I just don't even know where that came from, to be honest with you. I mean, when nobody talking about Mariah ain't even on the season. So why would you all of a sudden say that you saw why she gotta be a wild pig? I mean, you know what? It is what it is. So of course we're like, that's not nice. You know, why would you say that or whatever? The other ladies just look at her like, they didn't say it wasn't nice, but they was like, what'd you say that for? Because it was strictly out of the blue. And she laughed. I think she thought people would laugh too. And that joke fell on flat and deaf ears because no one, you know what I'm saying, thought it was funny or laughed about it. And as she's saying that, Toya's saying, you know, I'm glad the ladies, you know, didn't like join in on the little joke or whatnot, because I hope they're going to feel okay for my surprise. And what's the surprise? Well, surprise, as I said already, Mariah is there. Am I happy Mariah's back or is in the mix? I don't know. You know, I don't like or dislike Mariah. I don't see why they keep trying to bring her back to the show. I mean, I think she's an executive producer because it was like, I guess, her show idea, so I get that. And she was on season 1 and I think maybe season 2. But I think season 3 and 4, she wasn't really on the show as much because she doesn't really get along with the ladies. So my thing is, I don't think they need Mariah there, but I feel like if they're going to have her there, have her interact with who she interacts with and stop trying to make her interact with everyone. We see, I'll get into that later. But no, y'all get into it now. You know, Mariah is a person who you either like or dislike. It's kind of not an in-between. So when I say I don't like her or dislike her, it don't mean I'm not picking and choosing, but like I don't care enough to be like, oh, I like Mariah. Sometimes I like Mariah and she cool, and sometimes I don't. But like fans of the ladies, sometimes like, you know what, I don't like Mariah because Quad don't like her, or I like Mariah because I don't like Quad. That ain't me. I don't care either way. I think Quad and Mariah both are extra when they need to be extra. I think they both are drama queens. I think they both are petty. I think they both are successful women in their own right. And I think they are mad at each other because they are so much alike. I think they both done dirt to the other one. And neither one of them wants to back down. I think they both have lied on each other. I think they both have made up things or said things about the other one to get back at the other one. So I think they both done the same things. That's, you know, it's called a spade. But, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, we see that, of course, Mariah's there. Toya invited her. But I'm like, Toya, you invited Mariah on the trip as if it was your trip. I mean, I feel like since this was Simone's idea, if Toya wanted to invite Mariah, Toya should talk to Simone and say, hey, I'm thinking maybe we should invite, you know, Mariah. I'll go ask her. But maybe that's the way that the group can heal. That's what I would have done. You okay? That ain't what Toya did. Toya, again, for the most part, that's what people say Toya starts mess sometime, how she's extra, how she wants people to do things at her own time, because look what she done. Look what she did. So the ladies come back, and Mariah was in the Lucifer suite, which is a suite that Toya, Simone, and Jackie is sharing. And honey, when they walk in, Mariah was sitting up, perched like she had a whole pose, and I I keep saying girls, and sometimes guys don't watch my stuff. I'm sorry, y'all. But it's like I'm talking to my girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do sometimes. So, you know, she sitting up there like she's posing like, hey, Mr. DeMille, you know what I'm saying? You gonna take my picture? And, you know, when Simone and Jackie and Toya walk in, Toya is happy. She's smiling. And Mariah's like, I'm here. And Simone and Jackie, baby, they was just like, what the fuck is she doing here? Like, they wasn't upset to see her. They were actually very much so shocked and surprised. Like, what the hell going on here? And, you know, Mariah's all happy. Like, hey, y'all not happy enough to see me. And I'm like, well, why would you think they were? And this is where I say Mariah is, you know, I can take her or leave her simply because Mariah is aware the last time she saw these ladies at the reunion last year. It was very tough. It was very rocky, not stable situation. You know, they were all going back and forth at each other. They were not on a good place. None of them were. So why would you think that they seeing you now, they happy solely because Toya invited you? No, boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? My thing is you should have came in and said, hey, it should have been a tone down, hey. But Mariah's extra, 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 so, you know, she did what she did. Simone, like, okay, Toya's happy to see you, honey, but me and Jackie are utterly shocked. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how this happened. So Toya said, you know, well, I invited her because this is a girl's trip. It was about, you know, mending and blending and moving forward and growing as women. You know, so the whole black girl magic situation. And I feel like, you know, we couldn't really come on a trip to evolve without having, as we called her from the beginning, the nucleus of the group. You know, she wasn't here. And this is my thing about that. She was the nucleus in season 1, season 2. It is season 5. Okay, we have had season after season after season without her being the nucleus. Y'all need to let that go. And you can't force anyone to want to accept her back, Toya. And I feel like that's what Toya was trying to do. And when she says, you know, there was a point in time when everyone loved Mariah. Again, that was season 1, season 2. You've had 3 more seasons of just total, utter, just friction. And, you know, she not everyone's cup of tea anymore. And sometimes in life, that happens. And should they all mend and blend and be blessed and be happy and be grateful and, you know, be able to coexist? Yes, they should. But they should be able to do that in their own time. So, and again, she's like, y'all, you know, they liked her. But yeah, that was season 1 and season 2. 3. And I think even in season 2, it was rocky. Okay? Matter of fact, yes, I think season 1, everything was cool. Season 2 was when things got rocky. And then season 3 and 4, she wasn't even really there. She was there, here and there. But it definitely, as y'all can see, I got my window open and cars are riding past. It's so funny in the window. But yeah, but I'm like, wow, I don't think this was the place to bring her. Y'all should have her come somewhere, you know, in the city when she can go home if everything don't go right. Don't bring me to a different city to meet people or to talk to people or to fix things and then things ain't really fixed and I'm stuck in this city with people. No, ma'am, no, sir, no, thank you. So what else did she say? So when, you know, they're talking or whatever and, you know, Simone and Jackie are saying how, you know, they're just in a different place with Mariah than maybe Toya is. And, you know, they sound like, you know, Toya, you have to admit, the last time we saw her, things were very rocky. And they were. So, from there, it goes to the scenes down in the other room. Heavenly, Contessa, and Quad are having a conversation. And, you know what I'm saying? Heavenly is saying how she wanted to get some gratitude. Was it gratitude? Yeah, I think gratitude journals for people. And gratitude journals, like, I got my goddaughter, it was like a 51 reasons to be enlightened. It's a book to where you write things that you are like grateful for, that you are happy about, that you are inspired by, and it just helps you to it helps to remind you of the good things in life. And I got my goddaughter that because, you know, she went away for college for the first time, and she's away from her whole family. You know, living here in Michigan your whole life, and then you move to California for school, and you're the only one there, you can easily get like sad and miss things. So it's a way to, you know, remind her of things to be happy about and stuff like that. So I got what Heavenly was saying about getting the gratitude journals. So, you know, she's like, you know, because we are so very much so blessed, you know, to just basic blessed in general. And quite like, yeah, we know we are absolutely blessed. It's like, you know, I had a conversation with God or whatever. But no, before she said that, Heavenly said, you know, we so blessed, but we argue and talk about this crazy stuff. And when Heavenly said that, I said, but Heavenly, you the pettiest of the pettiest. Like, in my opinion, I feel like Heavenly would get mad over anything, and then she would start to go off and be like, well, this bitch said this. No, 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 no. So I feel like for you to be like, we argue over crazy stuff, you should say, yeah, me too. Even I sometimes act out of character, and I need to calm myself down and be grateful for what I have in life. But, we're not going to get on Heavenly too much. We're not going to point the finger at her. We're going to point the finger at all the ladies. Because it's a group effort. It's a group thing. So when Kawhi started to say it's how, well, yeah, because I, talk with God and I asked for X, Y, and Z. Or he said I was going to be blessed with X, Y, and Z. And I have X, Y, and Z. Honey, and then Heavenly said, yeah, God bless you with that husband. So that you can have so that y'all could have X, Y, and Z together. And you say, yeah, he gave you a man too, and maybe that's why y'all have it together. Yes. And when Heavenly said that, I didn't hear any shade. What I think is Heavenly has her husband and she loves her husband, and she's this married woman who feels like, her husband is such a blessing to her. And I feel like in most relationships, you should always feel like you're a spouse, whether it's the husband feel like his wife is his blessing or the wife feeling that her husband is a blessing. I felt like when Heavenly said that, she meant no shade, no tea to anyone. What she meant was, part of your blessing is your husband. And how do you know that you would have X, Y, and Z if y'all wasn't together? Like, she was saying like y'all had, not you, quiet, it ain't you. You and your husband have X, Y, and Z as a union, as a couple. But of course, Quiet was like, what I'm saying? Well, are you saying that because, that we only blessed because of our husbands? And, she's like, well, I think that's a part of it. And I agree. I feel like in relationships and marriages and whatever, even in singlehood, because I'm a single woman, so I don't speak from a married woman's perspective, but I do still feel like even when you are married, you are a union, but you are still also a person, and you are still your own self. So at times, when someone equates what you have to your union, it's not always a negative thing about you not who you are, and you wouldn't have it if it wasn't for your spouse. It just means y'all have great things together, and that's not a bad thing at all. And I think Quad feels differently because she's at a different point in her marriage, that she doesn't let people, Quad don't let people know the issues in her marriage. She has always put forth a front. Not, I wouldn't say a front. She puts forth a persona of whatever. That, what I'm saying, everything's all good. But in actuality, it's not. And that's how a lot of people are within their marriages, because you don't let people in your marriage all the time. But I think because people don't know the issues she's dealing with, they say things on a regular basis. So when you say, yeah, y'all great together, the person don't mean no shade in it, but because you feel like your husband don't appreciate you in the first place, you don't see why anyone's equating your success to your husband being your husband. But you have to realize that's your issue, mama, and you trying to push it on Heavenly, when in this one particular instance, Heavenly wasn't even trying to be petty or funny. You know what I'm saying? So, when Heavenly then said, I feel like, what she said, she said these days these men are crazy. So you either deal with what you have or you be single. Now, I feel what she meant by it. But the way she said it, I could get how some people can be like, what's she talking about? So to think of, I'm single. I can tell you, I need to do a video about being single in 2017. But the dating scene is very stupidly dry pool-esque, dirty swamp-esque. It's hard to find someone worthy of being in a relationship with without dealing with this, just stuff. But to say, if your husband, I take that back. I take it back saying Heavenly, I said what she meant. What Heavenly said, she meant it to no harm. The thing about the reason Quad got upset was because Quad feels like her husband doesn't accept her, doesn't respect her, doesn't appreciate her. But I don't think that Heavenly was saying, even if your man don't appreciate you and he treats you like dog shit, stay with him. That ain't what she was saying. She was saying, from my eyes, looking on the outside looking in, he seems like a great husband. So girl, be happy that you got a husband, because if not, you're going to be single and be in these single ass streets. So I got what she meant by that. Quad, however, on the other hand, was like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's better to have a man to be single. You know, I don't agree with that. Who in whose world? And it's not. She wasn't saying, you know what I'm saying, it's better to be. It's better to have a man to be single. What she's saying is, she thinks you have a good man. So why are you trying to be single? If you got a bad man, girl, yeah, go ahead and be single. Okay, because you don't want, who wants to be miserable? You know, who wants to be miserable in a relationship? But again, that's not what Heavenly was coming from. But because Quad is in a whole different place in her marriage, she heard it differently. So, you know, from there, you know, Quad says how, you know, in her marriage, she does her part plus some, and she wants some appreciation. And, you know, Heavenly then says, like, you know, well, I feel like, you know, Greg is a good man. She was like, but maybe, you know, maybe it could be, but she said, no, you know, I feel like he's a good man, but he do need to show you love and appreciation. I get that. She said, but however, she said, maybe because he wants children and you haven't given him children, that can be a reason that he's kind of retaliating against you and maybe not being the best husband. And that is a very valid point. That ain't no tea, no shade. That is the truth to be told of it. The same way that if your husband has been an asshole to you, you can be a bitch and retaliate and not give him sex. You can be a bitch and retaliate and not cook him food. You can be a bitch and retaliate and do whatever you see fit to make him feel like he ain't doing what he's supposed to do for you. So Heavenly's point was correct. Maybe because he wants kids and y'all have not had kids, he doing things in other ways as retaliation against you. That was no tea, no shade. I was like, hey, that's true. It's a very good possibility. And, you know, from that, Quad gets mad. You know what? I'm walking away from this conversation. And, you know, Contessa, who was also sitting there, she's feeling like, what's going on here? And, you know what I'm saying? Heavenly's just saying, like, maybe y'all should have, like, maybe it's because he wants kids. He not getting no older. And then Contessa's like, well, how do you know that she can have kids? Like, what if she can't have kids? And Heavenly's like, well, she can. She told her she could. She said she got it all checked out. She just, you know, she just haven't. You know, maybe she should have some babies or whatever. You know, she's like, but I'm just saying, you know, maybe that's the reason why he's retaliating. Contessa then feels like Heavenly is telling her to have children to make her husband happy. And I don't think that's what Heavenly was saying. I think Heavenly was just saying the reason he could be acting this way is as retaliation. It was very simple. But then Contessa get pissed off. And then she's saying, you know, you shouldn't tell a woman what to do with her body. And Heavenly like, that ain't what I'm saying. She's like, shut up, Contessa. And then her and Contessa going, well, you shut up. No, you shut up. And then it's an argument. And then Quad come out like, wait, y'all still talking about this? You know, let's leave it alone. But, you know, that kind of doesn't happen. You know, and at one point, Contessa yelled at her, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, well, damn, Contessa. Damn, Heavenly. Y'all just back and forth in it. So, you know, it was that whole thing, you know, and Heavenly saying how, no, Contessa saying how Heavenly conditioned, but she can't take it. Because they kind of arguing. And this is where, for me, it got stupid. Because it's that whole thing between them two. Now, they was kind of going back and forth. Basically, it was more of a misunderstanding. But then, you know, they kind of having a disagreement or whatever. And then Toya and them come in with Mariah. Heavenly laughing when she see Mariah, and it was a really, really petty laugh. Like, I can't believe she is, because again, no one likes Mariah in that way. You know, Quad is shocked because when Mariah walks in, Mariah walked in as if she had no issues with the ladies, as if I want them to be happy to see me, and that ain't where they at, Ma. And I feel like Mariah was just too friendly in this situation. So when Mariah comes in and she goes over and she hugs Quad like, hey, girl. More of like, why you hugging me? In her confession, Quad was like, hold on, mama. Give me 5 feet. No. Give me 50 feet. Because Mariah hugged her. I'm the same way. If the last time I saw you, me and you wasn't on the best of terms, don't come in hugging on me. Like, say hello. And I'll say, hey, but give me my space. Give me my 50 feet. And you know what I'm saying? Quad is basically speechless that she's there. Heavenly is just cackling, laughing, like, oh, because it's like, oh, this gonna be good. Because again, they don't really rock with her like that. And Mariah, of course, meets Contessa, and then she calls Contessa, oh, so you were Heavenly, because Contessa is married to a doctor, but she's also a doctor. You know, that's how Heavenly is. Heavenly is a doctor who's married to a doctor. But I'm like, I would say, no, bitch, I'm not a Heavenly, I'm a Contessa. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Have a seat. So they're all kind of talking or whatever. You know, Contessa says how they kind of walked in on the situation between her and Heavenly. But as everyone no one is reacting negatively to Mariah being there. No one is saying let's hash nothing out. They're all just kind of feeling shocked that she's there and kind of just going with the flow. That I guess for some reason it's pissing Toya off, and Toya kind of gets mad and saying how it's weird, like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I'm in the Twilight Zone, and she feels like it's like a fake situation going on. She's like, because no one is reacting to Mariah being there, and she's like, I'm mad and I'm gonna leave, and y'all can keep acting like y'all acting because this is crazy. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with Toya? Because again, it was an out of the blue thing, and I feel like Toya brought Mariah there to get a reaction, and she didn't get the reaction that she wanted. I think she wanted lights and fireworks and all kind of friction, and that ain't what happened. Everyone acted as if Mariah there, but she ain't there. We're not gonna give her. They kind of paid her dust. In the aspect of they wasn't trying to be like, oh, hey, Mariah, girl, we miss you. But they also didn't do, Mariah, we don't fuck with you, girl. Go ahead on, let's argue. They kind of let her just be there. And Toya was, I guess, pissed off that that's what it was. And she was like, them not having a reaction to Mariah being, people not having a reaction to Mariah being there isn't going to help the issues. But, I was just like, again, I felt like everyone was having a big reaction or no reaction, and it was just stupid to me. I feel like Toya blowing up like, I'm gonna leave out of here because y'all ain't reacting to it and y'all don't want to handle it. Girl, shut up. Who can stop it? Cut it out. Then contestants saying how she want to leave because she tired of arguing with Heavenly. Girl, you gonna always argue with Heavenly because Heavenly is crazy. And I get the contestants frustrated with Heavenly, but I feel like everyone's making something out of nothing for the most part. Then it's like Quad and Mariah, because Mariah saying, can I sit on the bed? And then Quad says, no, can't sit on my bed. Girl, go sit on the bed, I don't care. And I'm like, wait, what? And then they was like, you know what I'm saying? We don't do these games. Yeah, we don't do these games. I'm like, what is y'all talking about? They both just kept on saying to each other, we don't do these games. I'm like, what? And at that point, I kind of just checked out of the whole episode. Quad seeing how she's moved past the past and she good with whatever's going on. Quad telling contestant that she don't need to leave to deal with Heavenly. Then Heavenly asking Jackie, why am I was involved in some mess? Like, I don't get it. And Jackie says, well, because sometimes your truth is like a punch in the face, and you can say things like she said. Well, I say that I'm using my words, but I'm using the truth with love, but it's still like a punch in the face. You can't say something mean and say, but I mean it in love, and people won't be offended, and situation happens from it. But then you see Contessa, you see Heavenly ask Jackie, well, can you help me and her get back in a better place? And then Jackie has Contessa come over. They both basically apologize to each other, with Heavenly saying that she shouldn't have said what she said. That she shouldn't say anything to Quad, basically, about having kids. But that she didn't mean like that. And they both apologized to each other. And it was what it was. We see the men are at a cigar bar back in the city. And they're basically, they're like telling Contessa's husband, like, when she come back, just get ready to hear about, what happened on the trip. You new to this, but we used to it. And when ladies all go out on a trip, even if they was all fine before they left, and they come back, it's always some kind of issue. And it gets dragged into, we get dragged into it. We have to hear about it. Heavenly husband even says in the confessional, that Heavenly gives people a hard time, and that she's honest, very, very upfront, very, very honest, very, very brute with her stuff. She say, but it's basically to snap people into who they are. And I guess that means if you say something off the wall to someone, if they're not being themselves, what you say gonna snap them into who they really are. I get it, but Heavenly need to cut that out. She too old for that, and it is what it is. They talk about how they're proud of their kids, but of course Greg don't have no kids. They tell him how, it's not too late for you, you don't have to rush it. But I don't think that's true. Like, Greg is in his, I feel like it's not too late, no. But it is going to be too late if you waste, let's say, 5 more years to Quad and y'all don't have kids, and let's say y'all get divorced, and then you know what I'm saying? So I feel like If you want kids and your spouse doesn't, that needs to be an honest conversation, because if we not going to work it out, if we not going to make it, I need to move on with my life, because I do want children. And I don't want to get divorced at 50 and then have to meet someone new. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, so I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that it's not too late thing. Because how long do you wait before you realize that you and your spouse don't want the same things? Like Jeannie Mai on The Real, her husband and her got married and they didn't want kids. And then as they were married, he wanted kids, and they ended up getting divorced because she realized they wanted different things, and neither one of them wanted to budge on this issue. It could be the same thing. In the confessional, Greg and Qua were talking, and Greg says, Qua says, they have too many struggles in their marriage to be having kids. And she's like, we have issues. And he was like, well, yeah, we do have issues. So my thing is, okay, well, y'all need to handle those issues, because if y'all can't fix it, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's fair for Greg to not have children in his life, because he's waiting to fix his marriage if his marriage isn't fixable. And I hope, I'm not saying that he has the right to be an asshole to Quad, or that even that Quad has the right to deny him children. What I'm saying is, if y'all not compatible with each other, and y'all want different things, and y'all have all these issues, and these issues are preventing children, it's not if the roles reversed, and let's say Quad wanted kids and Greg didn't, it wouldn't be fair for Quad to be stuck in that marriage and not having kids because of her husband. So it's not fair for her husband to want kids and he can't have kids because him and his wife are just not, they're not working. They're not in a happy place right now. I think at the end of the day, something needs to give one way or the other. The men also admit how the cheating issues with Curtis and Jackie have infiltrated their marriages. And how, they just feel like they just don't want it to come into their marriage. Greg can also admit that, it's hard for him to understand Quiet at times, simply because he said, I wasn't raised around many women, so I don't know women that well. He does admit that how, he needs to see things differently. And I think that's a great aha moment for Greg, that he realizes that things with him are not all that great, and that he doesn't always understand how to either treat, act, respond, or react. Let's say react twice, maybe I did, to Quad. But at the same time, I feel like in the beginning season, like in season 1, when everything seemed great with Quad and Dr. G, even then she didn't want kids. So my question is, y'all only been married for 5 years. The season is season 5. So that means y'all have kind of, because you said, we've been having issues our whole marriage. At what point do you realize maybe maybe it's not the right thing? I'm a stickler for not wanting to waste too much time in a unhealthy or not good situation for both parties. I feel like if Quad is not happy, Quad should not have to suffer through if this may not be forever for her. The same as I feel like if Dr. G wants children, but he can't have them with Quad, is it fair for him to suffer through just for the sake of being married to this person who might not be his forever? I can see it from both standpoints. I feel like how Quad wants to be appreciated more. I feel how Dr. G wants children. But they're in the middle. There's just tension that us, the viewers, don't even really know what it is, because up until this season, Quad and Dr. G had always had a kind of pretty seemingly good marriage. There were never many issues with them, so it's kind of like out the blue, there are issues, and we're like, well, what's going on here? Why are they kind of just different? So I feel like maybe this is the first time she's admitting that they've always had issues, and now she has to be honest and say, well, hey, my marriage ain't all that either. So, yeah. Next. From here, I see someone, I think was it Simone and Mariah? Yeah, Simone and Mariah were having a conversation, and, Mariah was saying how, I'm going to go talk to Toya. And Simone was like, yeah, baby, you can get her to calm down, because Toya been on 10 all day. And I think Toya hear that, and she's like, well, Simone, I want to talk to you anyway. And Simone's like, no, Toya, I don't want to talk to you. You've been acting crazy. I'm over your antics. And she's kind of like, I don't want to talk to you right now. And she just said, how I can't take your shit and you want one. And, Mariah just says to Toya, you've done your part as far as getting me here. It's now up to the rest of the women to deal with me basically how they want to deal with me. So Toya is trying to force everyone to either talk to Mariah, be happy about her being here, or fix their issues. And Mariah saying to Toya, well, you did your part because you brought me here. So you can't now force them to be where you are. We then see Jackie talking to Quad. Now this whole scene, you know what I'm saying? Jackie saying how, Mariah has said some hurtful things, so she doesn't know if she's in the space to, forgive Mariah on any kind of level. Plus, she's in her own stuff with her husband. So she might not be in that space just because she has something else in her life going on that is bigger than her and Mariah. They go back to showing how Mariah said that Jackie has her own way of being shady. She just says things differently. And I 100% agree. Is Jackie a great person? She is. I think Jackie is wonderful. I think she's honest. I think she's loving. However, Jackie has her way of throwing shade. She absolutely does. It just happens to be nice shade. It's still shady as fuck. She just says it very nicely. We see her do that in her confessionals all the time. And she has a classy shade. She classy petty. But Jackie is, and she's not petty all day, and she's not shady all day. But if you ask her a question, if you offend her in some way, she responds with her way of shade. And I don't think Mariah was wrong in what she said. Then Quad goes into saying how, she's been married for 5 years and that, there are things that in her marriage that she isn't getting. And basically, she's not happy. She said how she does not want his money. She thinks, she thinks she needs an emotional connection. And I feel like if you've been married for 5 years and you and your husband do not have an emotional connection, you need to handle that, mama. You really, really do. Whether that is with counseling, whether that is going to your church and speaking to your pastor, or whatever it needs to be addressed. But you also can't get upset when your husband assumes the way that he was raised, that the way you take care of your wife is you financially support her. You make sure that you take care of home. There are many women in life who wish their man would be like, you know what, I'm going to take care of everything financially. All you have to do is be my wife. I think Quad is upset for different reasons. Some, which I don't know because she don't talk about much. All I know is she said that she take the trash out, that she be cooking on them. She does all the housework and she take the trash out. So my thing is, he making all that money, hire a maid. Take them things off your plate. Because if he's saying, I take care of the house, okay, well, you're gonna make enough money to hire as the housekeeper, and that way that's one less thing off my plate, and another way that you can say that you take care of me because you also help to pay for the maid. And I also feel like if Dr. G because again, I don't know what's going on with them, so I can't even say, oh, well, he don't do this. People were talking about how he talked to her the last episode. I think they both talk to each other in a crazy way. I feel like there's nothing wrong with the man saying, and this is my opinion, I provide for the household. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. I don't think him saying that meant because I pay all the bills, I don't have to appreciate you. I don't think he was saying that. I think he does not realize on whatever level that Quad does not feel appreciated emotionally. Because she, and that's my personal opinion. Again, they have not showed many issues with Quad and Dr. G. So I can't say, remember last season when he was getting mad at her, he cussed her out and he did this and we haven't seen anything with them. And this is only episode 5. So I don't have much to go on to say either one of them are bad within their marriage. What I can say is in that one fight last week when he was saying, I take care of the house. I'm a provider. And she said, well, I need more. And I don't care that you pay for the household. I don't think that's right to say because if the roles were switched and Quad was the main money maker and she said, well, I pay all the bills. People say, well, I can't believe she said that. I mean, well, that's something that she do within her marriage. Part of a partnership and being in a marriage is love, is appreciation, but it's also you take care of your family. You provide. A man is meant to be a provider, a lover, and a fighter for his marriage. And if he's lacking on one, you need to very much so be vocal about that. And it seems as if Quad has been not saying what's wrong because she said that she's tired of being unhappy in her marriage. So my thing is maybe Greg don't even know what these inner feelings are that she's having. And she's just now talking about them. So, she was crying and everything, saying how, she felt like she shouldn't be talking to Jackie about her issues simply because with Jackie going through with her own marriage. And Jackie's like, I like that you're doing this because, when you're talking, sometimes you're talking about me. Because Jackie, in this situation, Quad is Curtis saying how, Quad is saying my husband is so busy working and feel like but he doesn't get it. He's neglecting me. So Jackie's seeing it as Curtis saying, Jackie, you're always working, and I need this emotional, this stuff from you. You won't give it to me. I can't believe I'm still talking, Lord Jesus. I'm sorry, y'all. So, in that, Jackie says how she sees that there are things within her that she did wrong with Curtis, and how she didn't even realize it because she was so busy working and doing whatever she wanted to do that she didn't get the neglect that she was given to Curtis. She does, because Quad says, do you tell me you appreciate him? And she's like, no, I don't think I do every day. And Quad like, that hurts. And Quad was speaking from a wife who doesn't hear every day that she feels appreciated. So, Jackie was saying how, okay, this is what Curtis was talking about. I kind of see it now. This is my aha moment. You know what I'm saying? Quad was saying how, I'm such a strong woman, but I'm not being treated fairly. And some of the things he says to me are horrible. And they showed him saying how he takes care of the household. I don't think that's something horrible. I think something horrible is saying, I make all the money. I don't have to love you. I provide for you. And that ain't what he said. Because he also said, I love you and I appreciate you. He said that too. So, but Quad says, I can't keep sacrificing my happiness. And that's why I'm like, how much does she vocalize that she's unhappy? If she's unhappy, she needs to tell that man that and say, look, I don't like A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? I'm unhappy about A, B, and C. And if he does not respond positively to that and try to fix that, then she absolutely can do whatever she needs to do to move on with her life. That's what it is. I'm over talking about this whole thing. The end of it is basically, all the ladies are sitting around each other. They're like at dinner or whatever in the hotel. And they're all getting together. Heavenly is... No, I think like Toya was going like some little long speech or whatever, but she could have just said that she wanted people to move on from whatever. And, Mariah says how, she has apologized many times to all the ladies, or to Quad in particular. But she says at some point, she don't know what else she can give. I agree with that. You can say sorry to someone, and if they don't get it, you keep saying sorry, and they keep not getting it. What else do you want me to do? But then Quad says how, she feels that's... Her and Quad get into it at that point, because Quad is saying, we've seen time after time that Mariah will say sorry, but then she'll go back and then she'll still say crazy stuff about you. I feel like all the ladies do that. They have all done that in one way or other. Quad and Mariah just don't rock with each other right now. They are not good, and it's fine. But, Quad was saying how Mariah lied and said that she was homeless. She tried to make me look bad. She tried to, discourage me or just speak down on me whenever she can. Heavenly saying how she can move past the past. She's kind of moved on from it. Jackie saying how, she needs time to the point of forgiveness with Mariah. I get it. Mariah, like, it's not going to be like a Mariah roundtable. Y'all not going to just kind of go one by one and say how y'all feel about me. That's not why I'm here. But I'm like, technically it is. That's why Toya brought you there, was to fix whatever. And if to fix whatever is for each woman to say how they feel about you, just let it happen and then get it over with. But from there, Quan like, well, let me say something. Mariah was like, don't bring no black magic into this black girl match. I'm looking like, why are y'all going back and forth? And then Quad yelling about, oh, so I'm homeless. Mariah, you say stuff and you apologize, but you do the same thing over again. Toya said how they don't need to rehash the past, but that you brought her there. You brought Mariah there. What do you think was going to happen? And they basically keep yelling how, they need to let it go. And Quad saying how her and Mariah are done. Again, I mean, I did not mean to go on for this long. I talk too damn much sometimes, y'all. I'm sorry. But, I still feel like the episode was boring. Not even boring, but it was just because I talk more about my opinion of the episode than the actual episode. Because it was really just an argument, or no, them reacting to Mariah being there, but then again, not reacting. So, I mean, you know what? Let me stop. Put y'all comments below about how y'all feel about that episode. I'm about to review Bring It, and I'm going to post that next. But, you know what I'm saying? I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review of Married to Medicine Season 5, Episode 5. I did not mean for it to be this long, y'all. So please don't, be like, this bitch talk too much. But anyway, peace.